This video is not about C-3PO's kit.
I pure, straight hate you.
But we are going to be talking about the Grand Arena.
But god damn it, do I respect you.
We finally finished our first round, our first exposure to the Grand Arena, and I want to give a review of my personal experience and also kind of pull in some things that I'm hearing to go through the positives and the negatives of this game mode. Now, like I have said for a while now, this is probably the most excited I have been for a game mode in a long time. And was I disappointed with Grand Arena? No, I really wasn't. Now, that doesn't mean that I think that the game mode is perfect, and so there are definitely some negatives to this, but ultimately, I thought the strategy was really exciting, and I can't wait to see it at its full potential, which is going to be the 8 players in one setting with the 3v3 and potentially other things that they seem to plan to set to us. And so something I think that everybody needs to keep in mind, because I do know there are some apprehensions, some negative feelings about the game mode, is first of all, this is not what it's going to look like. This was an exhibition. This was 1v1. Normal Grand Arena, they're going to have differences in squad size, maybe different bonuses going out, and also you're going to be in groups of 8 players and basically kind of doing a round robin for who wins, and it'll be ranked 1st through 8th. So a lot of the negative feedback that people have given, I think, is probably going to be addressed in just simply seeing the full version of the game mode. All right, what are the positives? Number 1, this game mode really makes you dig deep into your roster. I think this is probably the most positive part of this. I was using Rex, I was using Churton Bays, I was using my freaking Phoenix squad. I mean, I really enjoy being encouraged to use characters like that I have farmed, not just in Territory Wars, but also in this game mode. And this is going farther than Territory Wars for a lot of people. I mean, I had 6 squads that I was setting on defense. That means I needed at least 6 for offense. Territory Wars is kind of like 4 and 4 for a lot of people. I had 4 squads I set on defense for Territory Wars, and I usually use 4 to 5 offensive teams. And so it's dipping a little bit farther than Territory Wars even does for me, and I personally really appreciate that. This is also added encouragement to mod more than one team. I think a lot of people just focus on their arena team, and to be honest, that gets kind of stale. I mean, if you get your arena team looking nice and perfect, all of the gold mods, all of that speed and everything, then what do? You know, you get there, you kind of arrive, and you just coast. You just, when's my payout time? Who do I need to beat? Who can I hit because I'm in my shard chat? It gets uninteresting pretty quick, but having a lot of squads to mod, I think, is really positive. And so dipping deep into your roster, very positive part of this game mode. The second positive is that I love the strategy component of Grand Arena. Now, it's definitely similar to Territory Wars, but it's different because it's all on you, my friends. If you go into an arena battle, for example, just in your regular PvP arena, you've got one team, you know what your one team is, you know what their one team is. If you fail, it sucks. It's win or lose. Spend 50 crystals if you have to get a refresh, and you go in again, and hopefully you can figure the RNG out this time. This time, it's all or nothing. You use this team, you lose, you're done. You win, they're done. And it's just having so many different teams that you have to face. You really need to know the counters. What is the best counter for Night Sisters? How can I beat this JTR team without using my own? How can I do all of these things and have enough teams left over? I sat there on this round of territories of Grand Arena, and I took probably 30 minutes just to make sure that I was using the right team, where unfortunately I was able to get a win and I full cleared my opponent. Number 3 is that efficiency is king. This is something that I love about this game mode, is it rewards you for being efficient. In the squad arena, it's just a simple win, loss, swap ranks, done. In this game mode, you get tremendously rewarded for having full health left, for having full protection left. The opponent I was going against, I think he probably could have full cleared me. He had a couple of matches he lost, so maybe not. But even if he did, what won the battle for me was that I was very efficient. I had a lot of full health characters left, a lot of full protection characters left, and as a result, it was kind of the difference maker in this. And so it's not just a simple win and loss ratio, it's efficient. Who has the best attack strategy? It's not just about what you have. And that's something I think is really important because people don't want this to just turn into a whale match. And I appreciate that. I don't want it to either. It's going to be matched by galactic power, and it's going to reward those who are smart in how they attack. And that comes to more than just the characters you have and the mods you have. Now, mods are going to be very important. Absolutely. If you don't have a mod, I should say, if you're at a big mod disadvantage, it's probably going to be tough to win. But that said, you got to have the attack strategy. You have to know what you're doing against what team if you're going to be successful. Now let's get to some of the negatives. And I know these are really important to some of you. I've seen a lot of complaints. Number one here is people who don't do anything. And I do think this is an issue that CG will need to address. I took a poll on my Twitter, and 18% of people who responded had an opponent that had not even set defense. So that means 18%, at least of the sample size I have here, which was, let's see, 538 votes. They didn't even get to enjoy this game mode. They just went in there and did nothing because their opponent didn't even set defense. That's an issue, and that's definitely a negative. Now, fortunately, my opponent definitely didn't. I had a lot of fun with the game mode, but if that's going to happen all the time, who's going to want to play this game mode? You're just going to hit join and take first. Number two is the rewards. The rewards are not that good. Now, that said, big disclaimer, these are the exhibition rewards, and so I don't even know if this is a valuable negative to raise because we don't really know what the rewards are going to be like for the actual full version of Grand Arena. But for now, if this is indicative of what we're going to see in the regular Grand Arena, the rewards could be better. Though again, the achievement rewards look good. Number three is the matchmaking. Now, while we've only had one true Grand Arena, we've had 2 rounds of matches. And looking through a lot of people's matches, it looks to me like the matchmaking formula is not giving much of a thought to who's got Rev and who's got Treya, and it's not considering mods heavily. My first opponent that I was matched with, for example, I ended up not fighting because of the glitch. But that said, I looked at the mod difference that was there, and there was a significant difference between my mods and his. I would have felt almost a little bit bad for how that was going to play out for him because there was just such a gap in the mods, at least at the meta teams that I looked at for him. I really feel like the matchmaking needs to take into account the mods because mods are such a big part of this, and I also think it should probably consider who's got Revan and who's got Treya. At a minimum, maybe some other important meta characters. I know some people, if you're going against a team that doesn't have Revan, they've got Revan and Treya, how are you going to muster 2 counters, a counter to Treya and a counter to Revan if you don't have either of them? It's going to be very difficult to do so, even if you've got good mods. I'm not saying impossible, but it definitely puts you at a disadvantage. And then number 4 is people who are cheesing the system. Now, I feel like a simple report button could be valuable to help pinpoint people who are doing this. Now, I'm sure that there's several ways to do this, but a lot of what I'm hearing is that some people are dropping mods on the bottom half of their roster to drop their galactic power so they can end up in an inflated bracket. So basically, if I'm sitting at 4 million, for example, I drop off a bunch of mods, I end up at 3.7 or 8 million galactic power, then I'm going to get an easier opponent, even though I'm only taking my crappy mods off and I'm leaving those serious mods on. That to me is an issue, and there needs to be ways to mitigate it because anybody cheesing the system is just not fun to play with. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. All right, my friends, those are some of my initial thoughts for Grand Arena. Ultimately, I think that this game mode has a ton of promise. I can't wait to see a full version of a Grand Arena. There is room for improvement. It's not perfect, and obviously we had some glitches with the first rollout, which has kind of happened with almost every new game mode we've gotten in this game to date. Hey, that's fine. I'll cut CG some slack on that because at the end of the day, I had a lot of fun with this first round of Grand Arena, and I can't wait to see what it's going to look like moving forward. Let me know what some of your thoughts are down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please go ahead and do so and share the video if you did enjoy it. As always, my brothers, don't forget.
My dead body. Sorry about the mess.